What's up, y'all? This is Henny. And yes, we're going to talk about these apps on my iPad today. Let's do it. So first off, I really want to say thank you to all of those who've been liking, sharing, subscribing on all my social medias. I truly, truly appreciate it. Straight up. This shit is really helping me see the light of what I'm trying to do, right? Like the whole idea of me putting myself out there, sharing my knowledge, sharing my worth. Somebody say, why are you doing all this? Why are you putting it out there? And I tell you again, when you get those people come up to you, email you, DM you, telling you how much, they appreciate what you're doing, and all of this giving is helping you fulfill your legacy, you just keep going, man. That's what I'm gonna do. That's probably what you should do. Whatever you're trying to do. Let's get to it. A lot of people definitely hit me up about what other apps that I'm using on my iPad to create music. Listen, the apps that are on the iPad these days are incredible. And I've shown you my top 5, and sometimes that gets adjusted as I play with new apps. New apps come out every day that's blowing my mind. I'm like, shit, these shits is crazy. I'm just gonna try to show y'all some more, right? Now, all right, so let's get into it. So in my music folder, y'all see I've talked about Audio Share. I've talked about Bloxwave, Cubase's, Model 15, Beatmaker. Let me go into 2 apps that I love that have been recently upgraded that really can be game changers for some of you out there. One is Audiobus. Now, with Audiobus, this is the app that has literally transformed the way you use music on iOS devices, because what it does, as you can see, it has inputs going to effects that's going to an output. So essentially, you can take any of these apps or even any of these audio unit plugins, be able to run them through an effect and then run them back out to one of your DAWs or even just a recorder. So for instance, what I like to do is take something like Beatmaker. I'll bring it in. It'll say tap to launch. Let me just okay, hold on. Let me do this last auto save that I have up here. I just have what's coming up. People have been asking about my 808s. I'm on the verge of maybe dropping some sound kits or whatever. This is one of these kits that I have. This is my 808 that I use inside Beatmaker. Now, if I go back into Audiobus, you see that it's linking and it wants to link to an effect. I'm not necessarily going to put an effect up here, but I could say, for instance, maybe put, I don't know, this audio effects by Vorn. It's pretty cool. So I can change. Let me bring that back up. You can see it has all these EQs, drives, flange, phaser, reverb, chorus. I can run all of that, or run my Beatmaker all the way into that and then run it out to a DAW. But what I'm going to do is take that out. I'm going to bring this into Bloxwave, and that's kind of how I usually do this. I'll type in Bloxwave. Let's now you can see they're linked. Go back into Bloxwave. This is a project that I was working on the other day. Excuse me. And boom, with Audiobus 3, now it gives you the availability through, like I said, you can load in audio units, which are plugins inside of a lot of the DAWs on your iOS device. Not going to use, I'll show you that in a second, but what I did was I'll take something like Beatmaker, right? Going through Audiobus. And now if I start here, let's say for instance, let me just load some drums. All right, a simple kick, right? Now if I go here, set 4-bar pattern, and I monitor it, now it's monitoring what's coming from Beatmaker. So I go to Beatmaker, I can go back to that. So you can still hear the drum. It'll ask down here, do you want a 4-bar loop, 8-bar loop, 16-bar loop, infinity, 1-bar loop? Let's do a 4-bar loop. I'm not sure exactly where I'm at timing wise because it's just a simple kick drum pattern. But if I hit this, so that's recording. Let me show you. Right here. And I literally recorded that using Audiobus from BeatMaker into Bloxwave. And that's how I'm recording this. And now I have a loop that I can save. I can change, if I set the key, I can change the key of that. Let's just do that real quick. I can go to find this, go to types. It found that there. Let's just say whatever the key is. It's kind of grimy, but y'all get the idea. Dope app, Audiobus 3, updated. It's crazy. I love it even more just in the simple fact that, you know, you can do MIDI through this as well as using now your MIDI, your audio units. And audio units are becoming doper and doper. So let me show you. Now if I get rid of this, get rid of that, I can take something like Cev Grand's. They have this crazy thing called Jussie. Stupid. It's just literally just a plugin of a voice. You can change the voice characters. If you don't understand what's going on, bro, I'm telling you, iOS got some crazy devices. Hold on, let me make sure. Maybe I'm talking to y'all niggas too loud. Hold up. Got it. Do I got it? All right. I'm kind of close. All right. Hopefully that's better. Now, Cev Grand has amazing apps. I've bought a lot of them. I'll show you some of them. This is Cev Grand's Jussie. It's just I think it's just a male vocal, kind of like vocal patch. But if I'm using it with Audiobus, I go back to Audiobus. Whoops. And close out of there. We're still inside of Audiobus. Let me run that. I can run that to Audio Share. Tap Audio Share. Open Audio Share. I can say record. Going back. Now if I do this, it's saying, okay, it says up here you can see Audio Share. Audiobus is going into Audio Share using Jussie. So I can record this and something like that, something random, right? Now, if I stop that, go back into Audio Share, you see that. Different patches. Stupid. Audiobus going into Audio Share. So Audiobus 3 is amazing. I love it. Cev Grand has some really dope sounds. Another sound that they have, let me X out of this, X out of him, go back to my audio units. They have another one called Tines. It's a dope Rhodes sounding. A lot of people say, okay, it's just a regular Rhodesy sounding app, but when you're doing this and you're getting good sounding quality sounds that are audio units that you can do over and over again inside your DAW in iOS, it makes it incredibly powerful, especially when you're just looking to build your layers and build your tracks. Tines is another one that I like. So Cev Grand, look them up. They're dope. I'm going to link that, somewhere in this boy right here. Let me see another one that they have. Inkle. I've used this before. This is more of their... They have some really cool patches, but this is like their synth. I love it. And they're not expensive at all. Most of their apps are probably in between $6 and $9. And they sound great. So Cev Grand, check them out. I have a few of theirs, and I heard they just got a new one out called Pads. I'll probably, you know what, buy Pads, right? Nope, I ain't gonna show y'all that. I'll buy Pads later. Now, second app. So I told you about Cev Grand, told you about Beatmaker, told you about Audiobus 3. Korg Gadget came out with Korg Gadget 3. Let me wipe this down one more time. And these fingerprints, you feel me? Okay. Now, inside of Korg Gadget 3, they've added some new modules. So if you don't know about Korg Gadget, it's really a great digital audio workstation for iOS. I've used it for a while, made some cool records out of it. The problem is the way it sequences is kind of funny to me, and the way that they use audio, like audio samples or using your own drums, stuff like that, it's kind of finicky. So what I like to do, as you can see, all of these are different modules. They have everything from synths to basses to, you know, your normal pianos, chords, pianos, Rhodes, organs, stuff like that. Loopers, drum samplers, everything all in here. Some of these come with it initially, and some of these are paid after the fact. Like some of these I haven't bought yet, like Kamata and Gladstone and Madrid, you know, $9 each, or even some of the ones that you can use outside of it, like Korg iWave Station, or even something like where is that? Where is that shit? Where Lexington, which is like Korg Odyssey. I know I'm messing up these words, but y'all gonna probably hit me with that in the comments. It's cool. I can take it. They got a couple new ones. They got Recifis. This is their drum, another drum programmer that they have, drum machine. Problem with it is you can't import your own sounds. As soon as I heard you can't import your own sounds into this, I'm like, okay, it has everything you want: the start, the length, the decay, speed, pitch, pan, the level, repeat, reverse, group A, group B, bringing stuff together. I'm like, oh, I'm completely in. Now, if you only can use their kits, I'm like, yo, why? I want to bring in my own sound. That's just, these is cool, but I'm just not built that way. I'm built, you know, from bringing in your own samples, chopping them up, and using them in as your own kits. Or, you know, some of the new age is you've bought all these sound packs and all these kits from some of your favorite producers and some of your favorite, you know, sound designers, and you want to bring those into this to make this your own special kits. If you can't do that, shit, it's pointless. So I like it, but, you know, it's cool. But some of their sounds are really good. You know, I'm using my Zoom H2N to capture all this, so understand that it's not going to sound as amazing as it sounds straight out. But hold up, even like you know, this Chiang Mai, I'm messing up all these names, y'all. My bad. They have really, 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 really dope patches, and their sequencing, if you can get with it, is dope. They're another one of their new apps is called the Korg Zurich. It's their universal audio recorder. I think it's cool. I just think that for me, I don't know. I would rather have a full-on audio recorder that you can just go straight in and do it, and not through this, you know, kind of funny situation. And, you know, it has to be a certain amount of bars that you can only record in. It's just limiting. But the cool thing about Korg Gadget is now they also have it for a Mac, so you can take what you're working on inside the iPad and transfer it to your, you know, MacBook Pro, your iMac or something like that, finish working, or use that in conjunction with something like Logic or something like that. So I think Korg Gadget's really on the right. Their apps are crazy. I mean, the apps inside of the app, the plugins inside of the app are crazy. It has some dope sounds in it. I just can't really get with the sequencing. So for me, I use it as more of a sound module. And like I said, I'll use Audiobus, and I'll run Korg Gadget into something like Bloxwave, get a loop going. And then once I use Bloxwave and I'm done with that, I'll export those into something like Cubase's or Beatmaker, and then fully produce the record. That's how I do it. And I know there's a lot of people out there who can do things differently. That's just how I like the sequence. Another app that I've always used, or another app developer that's really, really dope, is called Vorn. Veerson mobile app division, Veerson.com. They got some really, really dope sounds and apps, and I've used quite a bit of theirs over the years too. So anytime I see something new that they have, I'm checking it out. They can do, really weird things with your voice, where you can record your voice in and flip the samples like that. This is one of their synths called TerraSynth, and I loved it because if you go somewhere, go down to like bass. If I go to something like raw bass or something like that, raw bass, I like the way that I could use this down here and bend it. So I'll be maybe take the Q off. If you have the Q on, it's like one at a time. Let me show you. But hold on. What am I doing? There we go. Now, if you take the Q off, you can really bend them notes. Shit's crazy. I've been using it on a lot of apps. I know a lot of producers out there like to bend their synths, bend their basses. And, they got a ton of basses in here. Even if you want to stack a bass, like you have an 808 and you put this on. So I stack that bass on top of that. Man, come up with something crazy. I'm giving y'all tips. Trying to show y'all something. Veerson, love it. Don't want to make this episode too long. I just want to tell y'all there's some really, really cool apps in here that I didn't talk about on my top 5, but these are some really, really dope apps. Veerson, check them out. Now, I've checked out most of these apps, play with them, all these other, like another one, something like Orpheon, right? Simple app. You can change the, the key. You can change, the minor, major, the pentawheel, the way that it's designed, set up. And depending on how you hit it, that's how the sound will play. Make some cool stuff with that as well. So, like I said, use this in conjunction with Audiobus. Bring this on the first channel, link it, run it through any of the devices that you like to work in. And now you're getting these sounds inside of those other sounds. You're getting these sounds inside of those other apps. And you're creating some dope shit, bro. Straight up. That's why this is so powerful, using something like Audiobus. Now, I've used iMachine. I've used, some of them I don't even have up here, like the MPC. iMPC. I've tried all of those out. I think that they give you a little bit, but they kind of touch and go with where they want to put all their, development with iOS. I think with iOS, there's so much that you can do. But the price point is so low. A lot of these companies who are getting higher price points are not necessarily going to want to put that much energy into it when I understand that, they still have a core following and a core base. They're using it for using their apps and their some of their software for the MacBooks and the MacBook Pros and Windows-based formats and stuff like that. But the future is coming, and I'm telling you, iOS is killing. And so, hey, just trying to show y'all some shit that I know. Some of these apps, let me show you some more that I really like. Like I said, iSpark. This is a really cool drum programmer. Like if you're just looking, if you're looking to build, sometimes you just want to build banks of maybe drums or pads, sequences, something like that in one project. That's the cool thing about taking your mind and not thinking the normal, okay, let me make every beat one by one, maybe just making patterns. So I'll use something like iSpark, which is a drum programmer, a drum sequencer, and a sampler. And I'll build, whether it, certain drum loops and stuff like that into iSpark, maybe export it into something like Blocks Wave, which is my favorite, because once I start, I'm loop based. Once I go in and start with the loops, whether I've created them, I've found them, I've bought them, whatever it is, it gets my ideas going, and then I can build around that. So I'm always looking to create different loops. Now you can always export it piece by piece, but if you can get your ideas started faster, shit, you can get more shit done in a day. And that's why I'm an advocate of certain things where you're just building ideas, building loops, building different sound ideas to build your tracks. And then, even if you're just categorizing them, saying, okay, this is just a new melody, this is just a new bass, this is just a new hi-hat pattern, this is just a new drum pattern, do that shit, and then come back to it. Because now when you can play with all those different ones that you did from months back into today, or you just got a new pack of loops or whatever from one of the homies, shout out to my man Marv. He sent me some of his Marvelous Beats originals. He got some dope shit. He's got his Breaks Volume 2. Check my man out. He's dope. He's doing great things on iOS as well. And he's got some cool sounds out there. So go check my man out. Also, my homies, the Justice League, putting out amazing sounds using the Contact app in your Mac or anything using Native Instrument stuff. And I played around with it. Sounds amazing. I'm trying to figure out ways to create ideas there and then maybe just bring it in to here. So I'll show a video on how I do that later on. But there's a lot of homies out there creating great loops, great sounds, great sound design. And, I applaud them for going in on that. Shit's crazy. Jim Audio, Synthesis Modular Poison 202. He's got some really, really cool sounds in here. They're very vintagey, old school sounding, but I like the hell out of them, and I use them a lot. You can see, he has tons of banks full of sounds. He's even collaborated with my man Joseph Hock, who does a channel talking a lot about iOS, so you should check him out as well as the Sound Test Room. I follow all these dudes because I'm just an advocate for iOS development, iOS musicianship, and those who are trying to get people to understand it is a professional tool to be used in a professional environment. So at the end of the day, there's so many great iOS apps out there. I've tried a lot of them. You can see that these are the ones that I've kept on my device. And there's more that I could talk about. And a lot of people telling me some in the comments. I appreciate your recommendations. I've checked some of them out. Like one of the apps, like my man showed me the other day on, he commented on one of my videos and he told me about this thing called LumaFusion. And for video editing inside iOS, this app is crazy as hell. Not only can it do multiple layers, multiple sound banks, your text, your edits, your photos, your titles, your transitions, all within iOS. This is just me playing around, but off of one of the apps or off of one of the episodes that I did, I've done some cool things. It has it for the iPhone as well. And I shot some cool little pieces that I did on my, Instagram stories or even sometimes on Facebook, just using my iPhone, importing it from my GH5. And that's 4K files at 60p, which are tremendously big. And it's handling them with no problem. So when I tell you that the next generations of iPads are going to be able to do so much more, man, just understand this app, LumaFusion, some of these apps in iOS, they're getting the job done. Yo, check more into it. That's all I got to say. Yo, and even my man Stephen Lacey over there recording using his iPhone, and getting placements on the new Kendrick album. I'm telling you, man, the future is now. It's going down. It's crazy. I'm not going to stop. And I applaud all those who are taking the investment and trying things out with their iPads and iPhones and stuff like that. So keep going. I'll show you more later on, but I got to run. So, let's bring it back in. Boom. So those are some of the apps that I'm using. Not all of them, but it would take forever to show y'all everything that I use sometimes here and there. I'm just trying to give you more ideas on the mind state of which I try to create. And hopefully you got something out of it. If you're thinking about trying to make a new investment in the iPad, they got the new ones out called the iPad, the 2017 Apple's iPad. Yeah, they brought the price down. I think it's only $329 starting out. Great investment for all those who are trying to get started in iOS. Not being paid by Apple, just telling y'all what it is. If you like what you're seeing, man, go on, give me a hell yeah. If not, go on, give me that hell no. It's cool. Leave a comment, suggestion. Tell me what you would like to see more on the Hangouts. That's what it is. It's your boy Henny, man. This is the Hangout. And see you on the flippy flip. See you on the flippity flip. No. Catch me next week. Talking motivation, tips, tricks, or something else. And I'm out.